Hey guys, Jack here. I'm once again in another location, and I'm here to talk about, that's just something for references. I'm here to talk about the sequel to Ultraman Tiga, that being Ultraman Dayna. Now, Ultraman Dayna takes place in the same universe as Ultraman Tiga, which would later be dubbed the Neo Frontier universe. Now, being the sequel to Ultraman Tiga, Tiga's a completely different character. Being the sequel to that series, Dayna had some pretty big shoes to fill, but in my personal opinion, I think it did alright. So, a new team is formed, so the basic plot is that a new team is formed, being transformed from the original Guts to Super Guts, that defends Earth and plans to move along from Earth to find new places for humans to live. Well, mostly on Mars. Yes, in this universe, they finally colonized Mars, and we still can't even get the bases down. But new monsters appear, and a new Ultra host named, Asuka Shin, or Asuka, is given the power of a new Ultraman, this being Ultraman Dayna. Now, Dayna is similar to Tiga, but it has a difference in fighting style. While Tiga prefers up close and personal, like punches, kicks, chops, all that stuff, Dayna is more of can create more energy blasts, and is a grappler, which, comparison note from the wiki here, is similar to the original Ultraman. Now, for Asuka to become Ultraman Dayna, he has to use the Lay Flasher. In the original series, he holds it out in front of it and presses a side trigger. Now, a part of the Lay Flash would pop up and, flash, allowing him to transform into Dayna. In a later series, he would first hold the flasher out, then lift it upwards, subsequently shouting, Dayna! So, let's go over the facts. The first of Dayna's forms is Dayna Flash type, which is similar to Tiga's multi-type. Now, once again, Dayna has a silver-colored head, yellow eyes, a crystal in the middle of his forehead, a gray-colored body, with a colored timer on his chest, and red and blue markings. The red being focused on near his chest, around his shoulders, which stop right at his elbows, and 2 ones on his feet and legs. Now his blue focuses from his midsection right down to going a little bit past his knees, with two lines of blue, but underneath his forearms, which stop right here, going past his elbows. Now, like I mentioned before, Dayna's Flash type is more about beams. And his beam for this one is the Solgent Ray, or the Solgent Kosen, as Kosen is a ray attack. So, Dayna will fire an electric blue beam from his arm. Now, depending on what you're in, Dayna will simply either cross over his arms like so, or hold his thumb out, then bring them together. Hang on. Next is Miracle type. Now, this is contrary to Tiga's Sky type, and I do need to mention something. When I went over Tiga Dark, I said his second form was Tiga Hurricane. That's not true. The second form is actually called Tiga Blast. And how Tiga got those type change abilities was absorbing power from the third Dark Giant I mentioned in my last video. But that's not what I'm here to focus on. Now, this is actually his third form, but he prefers this over his this over his counterpart, Tiga Power type. Now, contrary to Speed type, which is known for its speedy close-range combat, Power type is the reverse. Miracle type is the reverse, preferring long-range combat while increasing Dayna's mental abilities. Now, Dayna's attack is called the Revolve Wave, and it has two forms. We'll go over the attack form first. First, Dayna would cross his arms over his head, hang on, I'm looking at a GIF. Dayna crosses his arms over his head, gathers a beam of energy in his left hand, and then pushes it forward. Now, there's revolving reverse type. Now, reverse type pulls in, as Dayna uses his left hand again, pulls in his enemy's attack, and then sends it right back at it. He can also use reverse type as a shield. Next, let's go over strong type. Now, this is his contrast to Tiga's power type, but it is his last used form. Like I mentioned before, this is his second form, but he prefers miracle type over strong type. Now, contrary to Tiga's power type, strong type is for heavy brawling. Actually, wait, those are both. While power type had lots of energy-based abilities to make up for its lack of speed, mobility, and agility, strong type has none of those. But instead is focused on martial arts and strength. But it does have a special attack, the Garnet Bomber, Now, the Garnet Bomber can be either used has two versions. Let's go over the shooting version. So, similar to Gaia's, what I like to now call the Power Buster. Sorry. Dayna will move his hand upwards and gather fire energy. He'll then focus it on his left fist, then shoot it forward as a sphere of energy. As a blast. Next is, again, using the phone here, is the Garnet Buster swing version. Now, I can't really do this because it involves a lot of complex martial arts. Basically, Dayna will grab, if I'm reading this correctly, it was never used in the show. Oops. But I can read it from here, and we can see what it's all about. So, Dayna grabs his enemy in midair, performing a spinning attack, slamming their heads onto the ground. Oh, wait, here it is. It can be assumed that he also channels the energy from the Garnet Bomber shooting version. Huh, how about that? Now, he doesn't have a third form like Tiga. But there is something interesting here. I forgot. Now, going back to Tiga a bit, Tiga. Tiga could transform into his forms at any time. However, Dayna does not have that. Dayna can only switch into another type once per battle. So if he switches into miracle type and his opponent is too strong for it, he can't go into power type. He can't even go back into his flash type. And we still got some time here, so I'll go and talk about the next two Ultras from the next series. Those being Ultraman Gaia and Ultraman Agalu. Now, these are interesting Ultras. They're not the first Ultras to come from the M86, M8, M87 galaxy, or the Land of Light, which I don't think I've mentioned before. Oopsies. They were actually formed from the Earth itself. And let me just pull you guys closer here. Just this. There we go. This takes place in the hyperspace universe, I think. Or Ultraman Gaia's world. Now, according to the wiki here, Gaia is the manifestation of the Earth's will. And after bonding with his host named Gamu, yes, I know, Japanese have weird names, but hey, our names might be weird to them. I mean, Scott. Who names their kid Scott? Oh wait, actually a lot of people I know. Awkward. Okay, so his host, Gamu's special weapon device is known as the S-Splendor, and I can bring up an image of it here. Okay, and here it is. I don't know if you guys can see it because of the glare, but if you guys can find the wiki, which is relatively easy, go to Ultraman Gaia, click on his human host. Warning, there are two. Click the first one above the second one with the first one does not have quotation marks underneath the name. So that's his main transformation device. Now before that, he'd use a photonic tube and raise it to the sky like this. Now, interestingly enough, that's the first way the original Ultraman would transform. Well, his human host, Hayate, which would use the beta spark. And he would also raise it upwards like so. But in any case, by using the S-Splendor, Gamu only has to thrust it in front of him to transform. And after receiving an ultra's light, like I mentioned, Agulus, hang on, just in a fit, my legs get tired. Instead of being bathed in a singular red light, it would be a mixture of blue and red. And later down the line, and oh no wait, this was always a thing. He always yells, Gaia! So let's go into their forms. First is Gaia V1. Now Gaia V1s is a reminiscent of original show colors. Now, like I mentioned before with Tiga and Dayna, he has a silver head, this time with a small fin at the top, yellow glowing eyes, a color timer on his chest, a gray body, hands and feet, with red markings. First, around the top part of his chest, then that ends with a small red point down, and then picks up again. Hang on, maybe I can get a better image here. Well, I can't give you the whole but you can't, well, I can try and, okay, and, yep, alright, here we go. I'll try closer out of light for you guys. Okay, can you guys see that? Because I can't really do anything about the glare, I'm sorry. Okay, we good? Okay, moving on. Okay, so Gaia has a lot of different techniques. First is the photon edge. So I'm looking this up. Okay, so Gaia will gather energy around his arms, bring them down in his hands together, lifts it up, and then red color energy will form near the top of his head. And then he'll whip it forward. Okay, sorry, I need to go up. Next is the photon stream. Now, he does the same position. Hang on, wait, did I do this wrong? Oh, no, wait. The quantum streams. Now, this is his secondary finisher move. Now, while similar to the Photon Edge, it can destroy its enemies in one shot. However, it is weaker. So if the enemy is super powerful, it will only damage it. It will only wound it extremely, which I suppose still works, but it can't really do that. Now he does the same pre-transformation like he does with Photon Edge. Sorry if I'm getting up close here, reading from the wiki. Let me see. I think I may have done this wrong. Wait, what is this? Oh, no, wait. Hang on. Oh, there's a Photon Edge Type B that I messed up. That isn't the same. Now, Photon Edge Type B, he does the same motions, except instead of forming a whip, he shoots a red laser out of his head. Sorry, guys, that's my bad. Now, the Quantum Stream is a bit different. He'll gather energy in his right arm, holding it like this. Hang on, waiting for the gift to come back around. Come on, just blow up. He'll then bring his hand over and form an L-style shape, shooting a red colored theme of energy. Next is Gaia V2. Now, Gaia V2 is the combination of Aggle's and Gaia's light energy merging as one. Now, he's relatively the same looking, except part of the red on his chest will change to black. Now, he pretty much has all the same abilities. Wait, what's this? Photon Crusher? Excuse me for a minute. Let's see. Quantum. Strange, I don't see a Photon Crusher. Weird. Sorry, guys, this... Oh, it's Aggle's finishing move. So we'll get into that when we go over Aggle. I know this video is taking longer than I thought, but point is, he still has. However, his most powerful form is Gaia Supreme. Basically, he'll gain. Hang on, I forgot to show you guys Gaia's Photon V2. Okay, just gotta get it into a certain position here, and okay. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Alright. Next is Gaia Supreme. Now, my phone's been acting wonky, so my Google image isn't the best in the world. But basically, he looks like this. As you can see, he has black shoulder pads and 2 lines of blue going down. And his entire leg covering is now red. I hate doing this every time. It gets annoying. Now he has a new finisher in this form called Photon Stream. Hang on. God, I hate doing this, but hey, what you gonna do makes mine easier. So Gaia will pull his hands up into the air, swing them around, and gather energy. He'll then pull this being mirror version, his left hand downwards like so, and create a stream of energy to blast his opponent with. Let me see, and that's pretty much it. But next, we'll look at Ultraman Aglu and his partner, Hiroma Fumiya. Now, like Gaia is a manifestation of the Earth's will, Agaloo is the manifestation of the water of the sea's will. And, fun fact, he's actually the first blue-colored Ultra to ever appear in the Ultra series. Canonically anyway. Now, unlike Gaia's mission, who is to protect not just the planet, but all life on it, including humans, Agal and his host believe that humanity isn't worth saving, only the planet. So while Gaia, when he's in the middle of, say, a city combat, will use, if civilians are in the way, will use himself as a shield to block the enemy's attack and save the bystanders. If Agal was in that situation, he'd dodge and let everybody die because they're not worth saving. I shouldn't go on that rant. Usually whenever asinine ultras are involved, I just get angry. But he gets better. But he and his host get better. Now, not going into that. Now, his transform. Now, Fuma has a wrist device called the Aguilator. Now, this is a flip device. Usually it's faced downwards. However, when transforming, it will flip upwards, the 2 points will separate, and blue energy will flow out of it. And in later years, similar to Gaia, and similar to how Gaia host shouts out Gaia, Fumiya will shout out Agaloo! Now let's look at V1. Now, as... Son of a bitch. You guys are nothing. Now, again, as you can see, like I said earlier, Agaloo is the first blue Ultra. Now, special attack is Photon Crusher. Now, it's similar to Gaia's Photon Edge. Sorry, Dryfoot. Stop being that. So Agaloo will summon blue water energy in his light arm and bring it up to the crystal on his forehead. He'll then move his arm, and the water energy will shoot at its opponent. Next is the Liquidator. So, the gift is small, but if I'm reading this right, Agaloo will cross both arms off of his head, bring them downward, summon a ball of water energy, compress it, and then launch it at his opponent. Now he has the Agaloo Shot, which is very different. He'll cup his hands to the side of his head, then his body, and shot with a ball of energy, and throws the ball forward. Now it's similar to the Liquidator, but still kind of different. And similar fashion how Gaia V2, how Gaia got upgraded into Gaia V2 from Agaloo's light, Agaloo transformed into Agaloo V2 into Agaloo V2 from Gaia's light. Now he gains two new special techniques. First is the Photon Screw. Now it's a physical move, so I can't really show it. Oh, wait, maybe I can. Hang on, let me look at the GIF. Okay, if I'm reading this correctly, Agaloo will cross his hands over his color timer, and an aurora will appear. He'll then lift his hand up and pull his back and cross them together to form a ball of water energy. He'll then bring it back and shoot it at his opponent. Next is the Agaloo Stream. Now, similar to Gaia Supreme's Photon Stream, well, there isn't really a GIF on it. But if I had to guess, instead of Gaia going like this for Gaia's Supreme Photon Stream, for the Uggle Stream, he brings one arm up and then, my best guess, coats it in energy, then fires it at his opponent. Now, he also has the ability called the Algal Saber, which is not the first time Ultras, which I'm pretty sure he's the, guess-wise, he's the first Ultra to create an energy saber instead of having a physical weapon. Basically, it's a blue-colored saber that appears out of his right hand. So, that's pretty much it. I was originally planning on going over Ultraman Dayna for this one, but I felt like going over both series just made it a little longer. Plus, these earlier Ultras, not really much to go over. So, what do you guys think? Want me to talk more about Ultraman? Want me to talk about some other Heisei Ultraman series? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. I don't update often, but when I do, hit that bell icon, you'll get all the latest updates. Well, that's all for now. This is Jack Killer saying, Dayna! And Gaia! And Agale! And see ya!